What's going on, roomies? Tonight on Neighbors, we're stepping into a world where a lot of people are curious about, but don't always know how to talk about it. Our guest, Daniel Jackson, a spirit medium who says he communicates with spirits and the angelic realm, especially with archangels like Michael and Gabriel. He also is the voice behind Beyond the Veil. Behind He's also the voice behind the Beyond the Veil brand, where he explores spiritual experiences, the unseen, and what he believes is happening on the other side of the curtain. Tonight, we're getting into how this started with him, what channeling feels like, what he learned from the emotional sessions, and some questions I promise you haven't heard asked like this before. Roomies, welcome, Daniel Jackson.
Hello, and how are you, my friend?
What up? What up, Daniel?
How are
Yo,
you
yet
doing?
again on air. Thank you. I really appreciate this.
No
And it's
problem,
some
dude.
and it's a topic that I've been super curious to like dive into and speak to somebody who actually like channels and does spiritual
Um,
work.
yeah, people are. Yeah,
So it's amazing. Um, first
it's amazing,
off,
but it's different. But I'll tell you just as an aspect of it, there are a lot of fake ones out there. There are a lot of bullshit artists out there, and
yeah,
I'm not that way. I tell the truth and not just the pretty kind, and that's why I think I set myself above everyone else who does what I do because they want to focus on rainbows and unicorns and everything is love and light, and I don't.
yeah. I completely get that because yet again, life is never just one spectrum. It's never just the
No.
good, and especially with something that you're dealing with the spiritual world, it has to come with the good and the bad because that's the
Yeah,
balance of the universe. You know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So when people hear spirit medium, what do they usually imagine, and what do you actually do?
They think that I'm psychic. That's what
Okay.
everyone wants to think. I get psychic messages, but I'm not big. I'm not just psychic. Psychics are attached to those who are the living, while mediums are attached to those who are living, but also mainly those who have passed away.
Okay. Okay.
But
And
what it really means is I see dead people, except
oh,
nobody's dead. They're just
okay.
relocated. Yeah, I see, hear, feel, smell, sometimes taste. You don't want that part, and communicate with spirit every day throughout my entire life. It never turns off. It never goes away, ever.
So what would be like the biggest misconception people have about you, like with you channeling and being a medium?
The biggest misconception, they're always asking me if I'm Christian. Always asking me if I'm Christian. Are you
Yeah,
Christian? Are you Christian? I say no. I'm not Christian. I am spiritual. Oh, so you don't believe in God? No, I absolutely believe in God. I just don't believe in God in the storybook version of him. That's all.
yeah. I honestly, I believe that most as a human being, we don't have the capability to kind of like perceive what God truly is.
I've seen him. I've seen him 11 times. He's spoken to me 11 times, and he's touched me 8 times. And yeah, he's not exactly what we think he is. We as people think that God is going to save us from everything. But if you saved you for everything, what would you learn from?
That's
Nothing.
true.
That's why
And
people think they have a guardian angel. If you had a guardian angel following you around, guarding you from everything in your life, what would you learn? Nothing.
that is true.
Why would a
Without
guardian
failure,
angel? Why would a guardian angel keep you from getting cancer, but not keep your dog from getting hit by a car? Because they don't
that's
do
true.
either. No such
That's
thing.
true.
Yeah.
Because without failure and without downfalls, there's no growth. There's no room
Well,
to
it's
grow. You
not
know what I mean?
failures. We're just told we're failures our entire lives, so we can keep being put as though we're under the thumb of those who are in power and control. There's no right and wrong. There's no epic failures, and there's no mistakes in this world. There's only what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And if it doesn't work for you, quit doing it. That's all.
Okay.
And everybody can figure that out. I mean, if you walk through a doorway and there's a nail in the floor and you trip over the nail, how do you go learn that lesson? You go get a hammer and you bang it back in. Not everybody does that. They trip over it 4 or 5 times. I know
Before they
those
hammer
people.
it back in, yeah.
Yeah, I worked around those people in prison. They were called inmates. They haven't figured out that they're not good criminals. That's all.
Yeah, true.
They'll get it.
You
They'll
said
get it together.
you said that you've seen God and not spoken but been touched by him.
Oh,
How was
I've
that
spoken.
experience?
He's spoken to me
Oh,
11
spoke
times.
you have. So
Yeah.
how is that experience? How intense was that?
The love that comes in from the energy. I can't describe it. There's nothing here to describe it with because you're never going to feel that as a human. I don't care who you're sitting with. You're not going to feel that this kind of love is different. Um, but when he came through the very first time, he came through during what is called a channeling session.
Yeah.
I was working with a group of mediums who were helping me to develop my ability. And I got a message one time. I heard an archangel tell me at that time to go and sit with this one woman and ask if it's okay to have permission to sit with her, clear out our minds. I was supposed to hold out my hands, and then they told me she would grab my hands, and they said just watch. And I was like, just watch. I mean, I heard it plain as day, a voice.
Yeah.
But I did that, and then throughout the process of going to that meeting, they kept telling me to do it with each different ones, specific ones, always specific ones. And one of those meetings, I had asked the one woman, and she said, okay. And because they have all watched the experience from what happens with the other ones.
Yeah.
And what you saw, uh, you'd have to really want to agree with because it's different. I'll explain on this occasion, as all the occasions, we cleared out our minds. I held out my hands. They held my hands, and they were reluctantly doing it because every time someone did it, they went like this, like that, like they got shocked with electricity. And I was like, you know, and
Yeah.
but this time the voice came through and said, "Hello, my son." And I said, "Who am I speaking to?" He said, "Is I your father, God?" He said, "But I don't like that word because you use that word too many times to have nothing to do with me." I
Mm.
thought, no kidding.
Oh.
And then, but at that moment when that came through, my skin was on fire. And then I looked around the room and everyone's skin was on fire and they're all like, "Ugh," and their hair was all sticking out straight and goosebumps were happening everywhere. And then he said, "Oh, don't worry, that will go away soon." So he knew what was taking place.
Yeah.
And then he said, "You're going to be working." He said, "You're going to be working with my children, Daniel." And I said, "Your children?" He said, "Yes, whom you," and he said it this way, "whom you refer to as archangels." And I
Okay.
said, "Oh, okay." And he said, "It's a process, but before that, you have to learn to trust yourself." And I said, "Yeah, I'm having a hard time doing that." He said, "You have to stop asking why." I said, "Oh, you heard that?" And he said, "Oh, I hear everything. I'm your
Okay.
father." And I was like, "Okay." He said, "You have to stop asking why." I said, "Yeah, I keep asking why me." He said, "Because it just is. Now move on." I
Okay.
mean, they're very black and white. They
Yeah.
don't f around, but I said, "Okay, I will." And he said, "I know you will." He said, "Because he said, what I want you to do is I want you to shit or get off the pot." And I said, "What did you say?" And he said, "You heard me." I said, "My mother used to say that." And he said, "Where do you think she got it from?" And then he started laughing, and I said, "You're laughing." He said, "Oh, Daniel, we love a good joke."
Uh, Of
Humor
course.
is love, humor is love.
Oh
So
yeah. Why wouldn't the God or source have a great sense of humor, right?
right, right. So yeah, he said I'll be working with his children, and it's a process. And he said you don't have to do the process. You don't have to continue with this if you don't want to. And I said, oh no, I'm going to do it. I said I have to do it. He said I know you will. I mean that because he knows everything.
Yeah.
So that was the process of that, and then working with archangels was even excruciatingly more painful.
I believe it. Just to feed my curiosity, right? When
Sure.
you felt God,
Yeah.
was it just like you mentioned this intense love, but was it more than just love? Did you feel like all the emotions in the spectrum from like the good to the bad, or
Uh,
was it just like this
no,
intense
no,
love?
it was just pure love. It was just
Okay.
pure love. Yeah, yeah,
All right.
absolutely. Yeah. Everything else went away.
Oh, okay.
I had not a fear or an anxiety or depression or anything within me at that moment. It's like it all just disappeared.
Oh, that's dope. That's crazy. That must have been
Yeah.
like a wild experience when it first happened.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it still is every single time it happens, and it's happened 11 times. So yeah, yeah.
And when did you? I know, that you started channeling later in life.
Well, no,
Um,
that was right afterwards. So that experience right there is channeling. But I do
Yeah.
another type of channeling now where I just get messages from them.
Okay.
I can still channel with another person, but it has to be an actual medium, not one of these fake pieces of crap out there. Uh,
Yeah.
and I can do it with my wife because she's a very strong empath and able to receive that energy from channeling. So we do it once in a while, but I don't have to do that so often anymore because
Okay.
they bring the information to me. They because with working with archangels, that's who I'm receiving the information from. Even in the very beginning, I used to say to them, I say, is this what God wants? Is that what God wants? And they would tell me, if we tell it to you, that's what God wants. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay. I said, they
Awesome.
said it comes from God to us to you, direct link.
Awesome.
So, but they don't
And
just tell me things; they actually physically touch me on my face. So when I
okay.
get a yes, it feels like this is going across my eyebrow or somewhere else on my head for yes. And when I get a no, it feels like a tear running down my eye. It goes down. I
Oh
feel
man.
that same feeling. But in the very beginning, it was one touch here and one touch here for yes, and then this and that for no. That was in the beginning. Now I'm up to 105 different touches by 105 different archangels. I
Oh
know the
man.
names of every single one who's touching me and when. And then they also put information into my mind and also speak to me in my mind as well. But they put information so much now. It used to be in the very beginning like 5% of my day, and now it's 98% of my day. So they put so much information into it's a shared thought now.
What? When did you realize you first had this gift or ability?
I have seen spirit ever since I was 3 years old.
Okay.
I've seen them, heard them, felt them, smell as well, but I was never communicating with them. But yeah, it's been since I was 3 years old. I didn't find out I was a medium right before turning 50 years old.
Okay.
My wife went away on vacation for 2 weeks, and for those 2 weeks, I saw everything you could ever imagine in a scary movie happening in my home. Because
Oh,
I've seen spirit my entire life, but this point, it was much more than anybody wants to ever see.
and hmm, so
Like
when
the
so
Poltergeist movie, but times 10.
I believe it. So like during those 2 weeks, right? And I'm going off script here. During
Sure.
those 2 weeks, like can you describe like day one to like day 14? Like how
Um,
intense
it's all
like,
it's all
like how
so much.
intense it got or like
There
what was
was
like
no
the
other moment.
overall experience?
No, there was no other moment that was ever more intense than the other, and every one of them was absolutely intense. Like there was one day I was going downstairs when it all started. I went downstairs to go get my cat,
Yeah.
who was down in the basement. And when I went down there, I said, "Come on, buddy." He was sitting on the couch, and he looked at me, and then he looked to his right, and then I looked to my left. And when I did, I saw a wall of blackness appear in the middle of the floor, and then a man walked out of it, and it was a tall man with he was very darkly dressed with a dark hat and long coat. I couldn't see his face, but I could see his facial features. And he walked out of that wall and walked across the room. Now, the strange part to me was because I see spirit all the time, is when he was walking, he didn't have any feet. And he walked across the floor, and then he went right through the wall. And then I turned back, look at my cat, and the other black of all blackness just disappeared and shut. And my cat just looked at me like, "What the hell was that?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know." I grabbed him and took him upstairs. And then when I went to bed, I would lay down in bed and I saw these clouds that would come out of the corner of the room
Yeah.
by the ceiling. And each night it was a different color. One night it'd be red, green, yellow, blue, and then it'd be red with black stripes, green with black stripes, blue with black stripes. I saw 8-foot skeletons walking around the house. I saw I saw a cloud appear form above my bed and opened up like a window of blackness, and then I saw two skeleton arms come out. Again, weird part was when the arms came out, they didn't have any hands, just that part of the wrist all the way up, and then it pulled the body out, and the head was looking around the room, and he had these big eyes, and it's just staring around the room, and then he locked eyes with me, and then. Um, I saw green and red mist pouring out of the walls. I saw looked like a witch's cauldron coming out of the walls. I
Yeah.
saw skulls floating around the room with red eyes and fangs. I saw little creatures coming out of the
That's
walls
crazy.
and onto my bed. I saw people walking through the walls into my room.
And and when this was all happening, did any of them like try to make like contact with you, or they were just like passing by?
Oh no, they were making contact with me. There was one time after my wife got home, she tried to tell me about her adventures. I told her about mine. She was like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
So I had told her stories before, but there was one instance where we had this camera that we could had night vision on it because her son was
Yeah.
bringing some not so good people over. So we set that up, and then she hooked it up to her phone. She said, "Oh well," I said, "All right, I'm going to go to bed now." I laid down in bed, and when I laid down, I was maybe in there for 15 minutes. And I was on my left hand side, and something came up and put its hands on me, and I thought it was my wife. And when I rolled over, there was an 8 foot skeleton standing there with his hands on me. And then
That,
I looked at him and I said, "What do you want with me?" And I sat up, and he looked at me like he was surprised that I could see him. And then he backed up a little bit, and then he finally backed up and went into the wall and disappeared.
now that you said that, that the 8 foot skeleton was also surprised that you were able to see him. So can I don't want to make assumptions, but I want to
Sure.
jump to this assumption that you kind of like they know about us and they know that we can't see them. Well, like
Absolutely.
a normal
Yes.
person,
Yeah, they can hear us. They can see us. They can feel
yeah,
us.
they could see us. So,
They're
so
around us
when you were
24/7.
able to perceive them, was that like a shock to you, not only to yourself, but to them too? Like,
No, not well. It wasn't to me because I've seen them my entire life.
yeah,
It's never any different for me. I see them like I see you, except are the ones who are what I know now. The ones who are more transparent are the ones in what we are think is hell, but is actually a low energy realm. That's
okay,
all.
okay,
But I
okay.
don't just
And
see one. I don't see even in my regular day now. I don't just see one a day. I mean
no,
that's
because
no.
you're seeing.
For me, it's like being with 1,000 people, except nobody leaves and more just keep coming in.
So it's like
They don't care.
you're seeing on I don't want to say a higher dimension, but you're seeing past like the veil of consciousness that normal people are, you know,
Nobody
on.
sees what I do. Nobody sees what I do. You don't want to see what I do. Nobody
Mm.
does. I don't just see people. I see people, dogs, cats, horses, cows, fish, other beings from other worlds. I see into other dimensions. I see into other realms. I remote view. I have a lot going on. You
Not
just get used to it. You're going to
you
get used to
definitely
it for a
do.
while.
And right now you're making my mind go all over the place. So I want to kind of like organize myself. I want to get back to the to when you seen God, right?
Yeah,
I have a theory
sure.
that God, God, source, whatever we want to call it, right?
Neither he or she.
Neither he or she.
Yeah,
I feel that since this entity or source created everything in this universe or in the multiverse,
correct.
right?
Everything.
That that entity speaks through everybody through different frequencies. That's why you have different religions and different belief systems.
No, he's not
No?
about religion. No, he has absolutely nothing to do with a religion. People created religion, not him.
Okay.
People created religion to have power and control over people. God doesn't need to have power and control over us. I mean, in the big sense of things, why would he? Even in the good book, we're supposed to obey our rulers and all that stuff. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't God just create souls and then have control of them? Why wait till they become humans?
No, you have a great point on that. Why
Because
would
because religion's a lie. That's why.
okay.
It's the people who
No,
want to tell you how to live your life the way they want you to live it while giving them 10%. They
that
want
is
your
true.
money so they can tell you how to live your life.
Because
No.
I've always felt that religion was a form of control.
Oh,
But
absolutely. Well,
but yet
themselves.
again like I said before, I always thought that because everybody's a different soul and we're all different entities, that our
We're
vibration and
all.
our the vibration and the frequencies may
Don't go on any of that bullshit. No,
not
no. You are good because you choose to be good. You are bad because you choose to be bad. That's what that's about.
okay.
You're there. You can like they talk about in this world, raising the vibration of your soul. You can't do that. That's God energy. You can't change God energy. So what you can do is you can take the trash of your life out. You're taking out your pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, anguish, hate, greed, selfishness, drama, depression, anxiety, ego. That's what you're getting rid of. But That's and you could no. I hate to tell this. I see you doing it, but no smoking, no drinking, no doing drugs. If you had tattoos, stop getting them because everything you put into your body and on your body is a block towards you getting closer to your consciousness. But you are going to be good because you choose to be good. But the soul inside of you is already good. Why? Because your soul here right now, that's inside of you, because you've been to heaven a bunch of times. Let me ask how many times. You're on number 20. You're on number 28. And that quickly, I asked them how many times you've been here. They touched me in my face and told me 28. You're on your 28th lifetime, meaning you've been to heaven a shitload of times. You're here because you have to keep coming back because you don't learn your lessons, you don't fulfill your purpose. And purpose isn't being a doctor, or lawyer, or teacher. Purpose is not absolutely is not your occupation because not everyone has an occupation. Purpose is we're here to help each other just for the sake of helping, not because you can, but because you should. In a way, we're going to do something for someone they cannot physically possibly do for themselves, or you're helping them to figure it out. You're doing an act of kindness. You're doing a reason for the just because. And people can do that every day, but fulfilling purpose is a choice. Learning lessons is something you're going to do because you trip and fall, and you're going to figure out how to not trip and fall again. That's all you're doing with that.
Wow.
Paying attention, but fulfilling a purpose is a choice. You can either choose to do it or not. You can choose to help somebody walk across the street, or you can go, oh, I don't have time for that person. I'm late for work. Well, if you're late for work, get up earlier. Pretty simple. Yeah.
And you never know what yet
Those
again.
energies, the bad energies are just bad because they choose to be that way. Just about like people.
Yeah.
People just choose to be bad. They can be good,
So-
but they can make a different choice.
Oh snap! That is Daniel. You're blowing my mind. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You're welcome.
That's what I'm here for. You kind of explained that the archangels use like touch gestures on you to differentiate.
Not for me. They don't do it for anybody else.
No, for you.
Yeah. You have to in order to be working with archangels in that aspect, you have to, or even to get anything in that manner. You're doing this because you're doing a specific task that God wants you to do, and you're very well aware of it because you've had conversations with Him.
Okay.
But that's not going to be everybody. What you're doing is you're trying to change the world. That's what you're doing. You're doing on a big picture scale. You're not you can't just call out to an archangel and think he's going to come to you. I mean, most people say that, they do that, but they don't know who the hell just walked in front of them.
True.
They have no clue. Because archangels are not men with wings and shields and swords, nor are they magical beings that are going to fix your life. They're just not. They're here, but they're not here to help the general person because the general person doesn't need archangel information. They just need regular to figure out how to go get a cup of fucking coffee. You think you need an angel to get a cup of fucking coffee? You think you need an angel to take 1,000 selfies and post it on Facebook? No, you don't.
True. But so when you're channeling or getting messages from the archangels,
it's
what
no
are
more
like
like I'm not like
like
going into like a channeling session anymore. It's just there all the time. It never turns off and goes away. So all I have to do is ask a question and I get an answer, or they just tell me.
So at this point, it's just absolutely normal where
Yes,
it's every day.
Sure.
So there's no like extra sensory sensations that you
No,
feel.
but it's not me doing this. Let me get an answer. No, that's stupid bullshit. When you see these mediums that are doing channel and stuff like that, and they start going, they just start moving their head, and they turn into another character. All they are is full of shit. They're just acting. They're putting on a show. That's what they're doing. Just start snapping their fingers and doing stupid shit. I've channeled God. I've channeled archangels all the time. They don't do that shit. They don't.
So when you're getting messages, how do you know the difference between like their message and like your own personal thoughts?
I don't have many of my own personal thoughts anymore. That's all gone. I mean, they're in there 98% of my day. So
yeah.
No. As I've known now, as of recently, about 8-9 months ago, they told me that everything that I've done throughout my entire life was scripted by them in order to be where I am now, to do what I'm doing now. So everything I thought was my own feelings, my own actions, everything that I thought was mine, wasn't. It was programmed for me to get where I needed to be to do this.
Okay.
I'm okay with it. Sort of, I guess.
Sort of.
So
Well,
I'm
if
just,
you're cool with it, I'm cool with
yeah, it just is. Yeah. Again, well, as God said, it just
But
is.
do they do that for everybody, or is it just
No.
like certain select people that have that path destined for them?
Well, nobody has this past. Nobody has
Yeah,
this destiny whatsoever. They gave a. I used to do readings for people who had a similar ability to mine, who would have been able to work with archangels.
yeah.
And what I am is at that point like a recruiter for them. They bring my guides bring these people to me, and I'd say they hear me say something. They come to me and they go, I think I got something similar to that. And I go, but before I even do the reading, I know they do. So and I'll bring it all up, and they're like, "Holy shit, how'd you know that?" I goes, "Because I'm the fucking medium. That's how I'm fucking the shizzle dizzle." So, let me help you with this. And then I have to explain to them everything that has to take place in order for them to do this with their lives, and they have to take a 360 in their lives, not a 180. And once I explain everything, they don't want to do it. Once I explain the process of what it is to like to work with archangels, they
Yeah,
absolutely don't want to do that. That wasn't easy. That was very painful in the very beginning.
yeah.
And that beginning lasted 3 years. That was
No,
them. I'd see them around me. I'd see these beautiful white lights at first, but then after that part, when they were coming in to work with me, I saw arms and tentacles coming down, tentacles, okay, and touching my skin all over my body, and I feel cold little touches all over my body. And then I'd go to sleep and wake up 2 or 3 hours later, and I'd throw up and shit everywhere for about 2 or 3 hours because the
oh,
energy is so strong that your soul has to be worked on and your body has to be purged in order to be able to receive and work with this energy. So, and that would happen twice a month, and that happened for 3 years.
that's rough.
This is what I accepted. But when I say arms and tentacles, that's because when I see archangels now as their true selves, they show their true selves to me. Some of them have look like a little human, not so much. Just a couple are human because it's the last one that was created from being a human was over like 10,000 years ago. It's been a
Okay.
very long time. And some of them look humanoid. Some of them I can't describe. But most of the ones that I see 8-foot praying mantises standing around me.
Okay, that's cool. Wow, I didn't expect praying
Except
mantises.
except for our Archangel Michael, he looks like a combination of. He's got wolf eyes. He's got
Yeah.
this wider head. It's almost like a moose head, but sort of, and no antlers, but big floppy ears, and he's got this long body with short hair like a horse. But
I'm
very
sorry.
powerful.
I'm imagining it in my mind's eye, and it sounds cool. It sounds cool, but at the same
Like an
time,
alien, because that's what they are.
like an alien, but it's not.
Well,
Because
that's what they are.
when people think about the Archangel Michael, they think about the warrior that is going to defeat.
Why would
Um,
they? Who would they be fighting? I mean, if, in our eyes, even in religion, if everything went to hell, who would they be fighting in heaven if everything's in hell?
that is true,
Right,
but
because the religion's bullshit.
true on that. I completely agree with you on that one. Which
Mhm.
archangel do you work with like the most?
All of them.
All of them? There's
Yeah, I
not
get
one.
answers. No, there's no specific ones. I mean specific, but I get they come in so many. Again, I got 105 of them, so I just know who's touching me when. But I mean, there's some big ones: Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, Michael. Um, just I have another one named Helen. She rubs me on the back of my head when I'm getting a little anxious about something. But I get touched right here in the middle of my forehead. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
Christ.
Yeah.
Does
I've only been touched by God 8 times, and that's right there on my eyelash, right there on the skin where
um,
my eyelash goes in. But that's for big things.
yeah. So do all their energies feel the same, or do
No,
are
when they come in, I get touched differently.
okay? So
So
every
so and
so
like I had 104 as of last week, and then I got a brand new touch that came in right here and went under my eye like that, and that was the
okay.
new one. So I wrote the name down.
So all the archangels have like a specific place on like your face or your head where they will
Yes,
touch.
yeah, Archangel Michael, he touches me up here. I feel the swirling and stuff like that. Helen, I feel that. Um, uh, I get this from Gabriel. I used to get it right here, but it's changed now, and Gabriel does this right across my forehead like that.
Okay.
I get Uriel touches me right here. Uriel used to be up here. I had another archangel named Raphael. I had two of them. One who would touch me right here by my ear, and then another one here. But that Raphael is doing something else that has to do with me. So
Yeah.
another one to come in to answer me is a Uriel who used to be up here. Now he's over here. So they alert me of everything that's taking place and tell me what's happening.
Okay.
I'm never out of the loop. I'm always in the loop. I'm part of the loop. That's why
Yeah.
my
You're part
soul's
of it.
different. That's all.
So, do you, all right, from your experiences working with the archangels, do you think that anyone or like a regular person could gain the ability not to work with the archangels, but like, let's say, quote unquote, ascended masters or higher
There
spiritual
is no
beings?
such thing as ascended masters. There's no such
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Souls don't call themselves masters. People do that. They come up with these stupid names because they want you to think that there's beings out there that are way better than you, way smarter than you, and all that stuff. And they are, but they don't
Yeah.
call themselves masters because when you go back to being spirit, they don't see you as being any different than they are. They just have more. What it all comes down to is responsibility. That's all. They don't call themselves ascended masters and all that crazy shit. Yeah, I
No,
mean.
I feel that. So,
That's so ridiculous. There's a hierarchy of things, but a hierarchy all has to come down with responsibility. You have, and this is it. You have
yeah,
God, archangels. What archangels call lesser angels. That's what we call regular angels. They're called
yeah,
lesser angels because they have less responsibility. And then you have spirit guides, and then you have regular spirit, and then you have us because our soul spirit is within us, and then you have spirit in the low energy realm. That's
no,
all.
no,
And not everything in that low energy realm is bad. I see dogs and cats and horses and cows and stuff like running around there. There's no such thing as a rainbow bridge. So, and they're just there because they either got lost or they just made a choice for themselves. Because where you go is up to you. No one else
okay,
can keep you from going, make you go somewhere, or save a place for you.
okay. And can like, all right, now that I know that I'm at like level 2, right? Let's just say level 2.
But
The humans are at
so
level 2.
getting back to your question, I'll answer that for you. No, you can't just learn how to do this. You either have this or don't. The way that you have this ability is because it's part of your soul during the creation of your soul. It's
Okay,
not given to you in each life. You either wake up with it or you don't. But you can't go to school. You can't take an intuition class and think you're now going to become a psychic medium or something like that. You can't do that. You either we wake up in this world as babies because we just came from a perfect place, heaven. That's the only way you get here
yeah,
because that's where the soul comes from, and it comes into the body when the body's being born. That's it. That's why sometimes we have a stillborn child because the soul sees that the body's not going to make it, goes out, and then you
yeah,
have the stillborn child. But so you come in here from that place, and you wake up and you look at the world like you're going, what? And your mom and dad's going, I'm your mom and dad. You're going, I don't know who the hell you are, but okay. And they teach you the ways of the world, which is all bullshit. And then you
true,
wake up out of that, but you're around 2, 3 years old. You're walking around the world like it's freaking Disneyland because it is. Because you're
yeah,
back in this wonderful place that they see all the beautiful nuances of, and we have lost them because we are brainwashed into everything now. And then you grow up, and they start teaching you all that shit, and then all that purity goes away. But just some of
yeah,
us are meant to keep it. Most of us aren't. As I explained, some of us are meant to be teachers. Others are just meant to be students. There are other people out there who are mediums, but we don't. We all have similar abilities, but we don't all do the same.
okay. Wow,
But
that's
it's not
heavy.
for everybody. I mean, but
And
then again, I'm not meant to be a brain surgeon.
yeah, so when somebody comes back to this plane,
Okay.
after death, can they at that
I'll death of
point
the body.
be instilled with like the ability of intuition, or is it
Everyone
once
has.
your soul's
Yeah,
created, that's it?
everybody can use their intuition. Everybody has intuition, and that's your soul telling you messages. You get messages all the time, but people don't even realize it. They don't pick up on it. They don't. They do, but they don't investigate it. This is the thing they say. You know, something's telling me. Well, what the hell do you think that something is? Or I feel this is the right thing. Or they're about to walk in a building and go, you know what? I don't feel right about this. I don't know. Something's. What do you think the hell that something is? That's your soul telling you don't go in there, or it's just your soul is telling you you should go do this. Most
Yeah,
people don't listen to it. They don't listen, trust, and follow through.
believe me, I've been in situations where I did not listen to my soul, and
And what happens? It's all fucked up, right?
yep, I got myself into trouble. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because if you learn to listen, trust, and follow through with what your spirit guides and your soul, that internal compass is telling you every single day of your life, you wouldn't have any problems.
And
None.
what like advice would you give people to like start listening to like that internal guidance?
Do it every day because the more you do it, the better things are going to turn out for you because it knows you better than anyone else does because it is you. I mean, the soul that's inside of you now doesn't even look like you. It looks like you the last time you were here. It's you every single time. You
Yeah,
just come into a different body every single time. And sometimes you don't come here as a man. Sometimes you come as a woman as well
yeah,
because you're not going to learn things in just one body. But it's had so many lifetimes and has so much experience and so much knowledge before it even comes here from that place we call heaven that's instilled in it to, and then it comes into a body and it's trying to teach you these things.
oh man,
We just don't
um
listen. We don't trust and we don't follow through. If you follow
that is true.
through,
That, no,
things
you're
better things
absolutely
will
100%.
happen.
You're absolutely 100% correct on that. Like we as humans choose to like listen to our intuition here and there.
Yeah,
What I
we
mean,
pick and choose.
we pick and choose when to listen to it. Like
Yeah,
for instance, an example that I was referring to earlier was that when I was a teenager, I was at a party and my friend had told me, "Yo, let's go downstairs and put these two girls in a cab." We were waiting for the cab. It was a cold winter night, and the cab was taking forever to get there. We ended up getting arrested for trespassing. But
sure.
I was telling him while we was upstairs, I was like, I don't feel right about going downstairs yet. Let's wait. How about we pump the brakes a little bit? Let's enjoy the party a little bit more. And in about 10 minutes, we'll go downstairs.
Absolutely.
And,
That's what you should
and
have
he was
done.
like, nah, let's go, whatever, whatever. I listened to my
You let
friend
him
versus
talk you.
listening to myself.
You let this other person talk you into something different than what your soul was telling you to not
Yeah,
do. Yeah.
yeah,
Next time you listen, won't you?
yeah. Ever since then, I've started listening to my gut feeling a lot more. I could
Yeah.
honestly say that, yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh,
The gut feeling, that inner compass that's driving you. That's your soul telling you, hey, this is not good for you. Let's wait a little bit. Yeah.
and how could people tell like the difference between like their intuition, you know, spiritual guidance, and like their own imagination?
Because when they have their own imagination, they're overthinking it. Spiritual guidance is going to come to you like that.
Okay. All right. All right. And
Yeah.
what are like some of the risks that people come across when they like try to open themselves up more spiritually without like the proper guidance or like
Um,
without like a good point to like get to?
the best way you're going to open up, well, the worst thing you have to look out for is opening yourself up to, because when you open yourself up, you're not opening yourself up to the best can of chicken noodle soup. You're opening yourself up to the worst can of worms because once you open yourself up, you're allowing everything come in, good and bad. You're going to hear from good energies, but you're also going to hear from bad ones. When bad ones are going to come through, they're going to tell you to do something nefarious. They're going to try to talk you into. They may even, because they are pure energy, they can manipulate themselves to sound like things and look like other things. You might even hear the voice come through of somebody else that you know, and they're using why? Because they can do that. They hear these. They all hear each other. It's what we call telepathy. That's how they communicate with each other. But they can do that. And when they start coming in with the bad things and telling you to do horrible things and stuff like that, then you know
Yeah.
it's a bad one. Then you just tell them to leave you alone and go away. You're not going to, but you can't say curse words to those things because when you use curse words at them, God didn't create words. He gave us an ability to make sounds. So you can say any word you want to, begins with
Yeah.
letter F. It doesn't sound like a fire truck, and he doesn't care. As
Yeah.
long as you're not putting it on someone. So when you put it on one of these energies, then you're putting negativity of which it wants you to do because it needs negativity from you to survive. It collects that energy. So that's why these bad ones want you to do bad things because when you do that, you're doing negative things. It's collecting the energy. They don't want us to make us go out and do horrible things, do like die or anything. They want us to
Yeah.
keep going because we're a source of energy for them. That's what they do. So when you
Okay.
hear that stuff, you tell them to walk away. But you listen to the good ones. The good ones will be telling you good things to do. You'll feel it within your gut as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, without naming anyone, what was like a session that hit you like the most emotionally?
God,
Mm,
there's no other love that I can explain.
that is true.
And what one time he came through, I was laying in my bed, and I'm just laying there trying to go to sleep, but that's hard to do when all you see is dead people around you.
Yeah.
And I'm just laying there, and then he comes in. When he comes in, he's the only one who can get right here.
Yeah.
All others, other spirit are usually about 10, 15 feet away, and my spirit guides are now pretty close as well, but not as close as God gets. It's weird to see because even though he's right here, he's still kind of like here, but he's right here. It's just it's strange to say, but and I just went. I saw him and I just felt it, and I was like, and then when I saw him, I was like, oh, and you just turned into a different person. I just went, hello, Father. And he said, oh, my son, how are you? And I said, I'm good. Is there something I can help you with? And he said, no, I just came to watch. And I said, watch what? He said, you. And I said, why would you watch me? Gets me. And he said, because you're my son. Why wouldn't I? What do you say to that?
There's nothing you really can say. It's just
It's if you're a
love.
father, right? If you're a father and you're just standing there watching your child sleep, that's what he's doing. So, but I was awake, and he knew I was awake. So at that moment, I just said to him, "Is there anything? Am I doing everything that you wanted me to do?" And he said, "Oh, you're exceeding everything, Daniel. Don't worry about it. You're doing everything fine." I said, "Is there anything you need me to know?" And he said, "No. You just wait like every day, and we will bring you information. Or if you need us for anything, you just ask." I said, "Okay." And then
That's dope.
I got real on him, and I said, "I have to go to sleep, Father. I have to go to work tomorrow." He said, "Okay, don't worry about it." And that was it. And then I fell asleep, and I woke up later, because that sense of love, I mean, it clears you out. I mean, I was able to
I'm
fall asleep like a baby, and then I
sure.
woke up
I could
later.
I could just imagine like how much like of a I won't say a toll, but how like exhausted a person could be after like an experience like that. You know what I mean?
It was very relieving because that love that came in cleared everything else that I had going on in me out of me.
Wow.
But in order for me to get those kinds of experiences with him and with archangels as well, you have to be clear to get clear answers, as my guides tell me. You have to be clear to get clear answers. In other words, no smoking, no drinking, no doing drugs, no tattoos, no pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, anguish, hate, greed, selfishness, drama, anxiety, depression, ego. None of that stuff. I don't have any of that stuff. I've choose to learn to let that go.
Yeah.
People say horrible things to me all day long, but I don't give a shit. I don't have to get angry over their anger. I just choose not to. I know
That's
people
true.
use that trigger. I don't get triggered. It just is what it is.
Yeah, I'm slowly learning that. Like there's still a couple of points that I'm still working on,
You have to
but
learn to let it go. That's
the
all.
smoking and the smoking and the tattoos are my two biggest ones.
Well, I mean, which would you rather be? Would you rather be fashionable or spiritually free?
I'd rather be
I'd
free.
choose the latter.
Yeah, I'd rather be
I
free.
get I get to, I get spoken to every day, and I communicate every day with archangels. Now, I'm not saying anyone can do that. You just can't. You have to be chosen for that. That's something
Yeah,
different. But could you listen, trust, and follow through with what your spirit guides and your intuition is telling you? Yes, but in order to get those messages, clear and concise messages all day long, because we do get clear messages.
yeah,
Everybody, everybody gets clear messages every single day. The problem is we don't listen to them. And when you don't listen to them and you talk yourself out of them, what you're actually doing every day is telling God that you don't have time for him. And why would you do that?
that's good. You have a
Now it just made you think.
yeah. That definitely is a thinker. That definitely is a thinker. Um, if God or an archangel could give the world one instruction for the next year, what would it be?
To not judge each other. But that's a permanent one. We shouldn't
Okay.
be judging each other. When you're walking down the street and you see somebody and they come up on you and they look all disheveled and everything, you look at them and go, you know what? I've been disheveled before, because you know what it's like. We've all been it before.
Yeah,
When you look at them, before you say a word, think to yourself, take a self inventory of yourself, and think of all the shit you've been through in your entire life, and then look back at them and go, you know what? I don't have nothing to say, and then bite your tongue and walk away because you don't.
no, I got you. I got you because us as humans, or at least in this society, we do kind of like judge a book by its cover before we know what
We
the story
do. We go deeper than that cover most of the time. but,
is. That's true.
but
That's true.
but
And that's
we should
putting it
look
the
at
nice way.
ourselves first. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should look at ourselves first. He wants us to love each other and take care of each other and look out for each other. That's why Jesus was here. Jesus was here to let us know we can love each other and take care of each other and be kind to each other. We don't have to live under power and control. We could share everything in the world because there is enough of everything to share. You could still go to work, but we would do it for all of humanity to help each other so we all have enough. So everyone is cool in the summertime
Yeah.
and heated in the wintertime. And you have your medicines and all your insurance and all that stuff. But we could just share it. We can do it, but we choose not to because there are people who feel as though they have to have more than everyone else and tell everybody how much they can have. Power
Yeah.
and control. We started out with kings and queens, and then it was for governments, and now it's big corporation. And so that's what Jesus was doing. But the people who were in power and control, the king and the queen, and religion, because they don't want to tell you that part,
Okay.
saw him doing this shit, and they said, "We can't have him on the street.
That's
He's
true.
confessing he's the word of he's the son of God. We can't have him on the street. We got to take him off the street because if we don't, he's going to take our power and control away." So they put him on a cross and tortured and murdered him in front of everybody and make an example out of him. So they're not telling you what they're not. And now religion wants you to wear that cross around your neck as a representation, but you don't sin. God created us all from a part of Him, which makes our soul a divine soul. Everyone's a divine soul, just not everyone. Every person isn't divine, but because we have all this pain under our guilt and all that other crap in us. But this is the religion wanting you to wear a cross around your neck because they want you to think that Jesus did something for you. Jesus was doing what he did for being a free thinker. That's it. So all they want you to do, because I always tell people, why do you want to wear that cross around your neck? You wear a form of punishment around your neck, not because of what Jesus did for you. They want you to wear that around your neck because they want you to remind you that if you do what he's doing, we're going to do that to you too. They
Mhm.
replaced it. First they did
Yeah.
it with crosses, and then they went into shackles and and stocks, and now they call them handcuffs
Yeah.
in prison.
So so the concept of like Christ consciousness, that would that be like a false concept, or is it
Yes,
like something that, oh, so it is. So like the whole
yes.
concept of like Christ being like at a higher consciousness than like a regular person is
Well, of
false.
course he is, but so is God, and so a
Yeah.
regular spirit is at the same time. But yeah, they use that word in a different way. Again, they use it as like a spiritual master or something like that. No,
Yeah. Okay.
no. If
Okay.
Jesus wants to talk to you, he will. I mean, it's that simple.
And how about
But
like
are you going to listen to
other
him?
how about other figures like Buddha or like Muhammad or and
Well,
those kind of
look at
people?
Buddha. Buddha himself. Buddha himself. It took a while for Buddha himself to realize that he didn't need all his possessions. He was telling
Yeah.
everybody, you can go to heaven or wherever you're going to go, and you're going to live in mansions that are 7 story tall, and you're going to get bags of gold and all this stuff. And then he himself figured out, I don't need all these possessions that I have here. I have everything that I need is from within me. I can find inner peace without having have all this stuff. Well, that stuff isn't going to bring me inner peace. All that is a masquerade of what inner peace is. But he continued to do that and tell people that for one reason, because of people. People have an egotistical bullshit mind going on, and their idea is, what's in it for me? Well, he
Yeah.
continued to tell them that so that they will actually do what they needed to do to go home. And once they got there and figured it out, they would know they don't need any of it because it's not there, because you don't need it.
Yeah. And that would like circle back to when we were talking about life purpose. Life
Yeah.
purpose is not your occupation, is more of a, helping your fellow man and
Yes,
being.
because not everybody has an occupation. I mean, a child with who has epilepsy,
Yeah.
who can't hold a job, he's got a purpose too. He's
Yeah.
teaching other people how to deal with him and his epilepsy. We just don't see it that way.
That is
And the
true.
more that you do it, and the more you come in contact with other people and they learn to accept you and everything's okay and all that stuff, you're teaching them to learn to accept you. I mean, but not everybody. But again, there's other physical ways as well that someone's going to come up to you and say, "Excuse me, I'm lost. Can you help me find my way?"
Okay.
And a lot of people go, "No, I don't want to. Go away from me." Well, good luck with that. You'll just keep coming back. I don't make the rules. I just explain them.
What? So not this question is hard for me to like kind of
Ask it, man.
materialize, but
Okay.
since you've been in contact with God and the archangels, right? why
Go ahead.
and why is it like that we have to have multiple lifetimes to like learn about
Because
ourselves?
we are not good learners. That's why we don't
So
learn very well.
so why not extend a lifetime? Like instead of like 120 years, give us like 12,000.
Because you're not going to get it in 12,000 if you're not going to get it in 89.
Makes sense. That makes sense. I got that.
Yeah.
I got that.
If you're
Um,
just not a good learner, you're not a good learner. But also, these bodies aren't meant to last that long as well.
no.
They're fallible bodies. He wants us to get it and get it done as quickly as possible. And if you
Okay.
knew you had 12,000 years, you'd take your frickin' time.
That is true.
You'd get
Like
lazy. And,
nothing would
right,
be in a rush. Yeah.
people are already lazy with 89 or 90 years old, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe me, I have a couple of people in my life with great potential, but they're not doing nothing with it.
Right. Right. Well, that's okay.
Mm.
How many of them are coming back? A few of them already.
What was that?
There's a few of them already that are still at this point have to come back. There's
Yeah.
not much they can do.
Yeah.
It's about doing it and being consistent with it, doing it all the time, not just doing it once in a while. It's like punching a dance card so you can go home and stay home and not come back and do this all over again. Because if you can leave and go to heaven, but you're going to have to come back. The way that works is once you step up out of your body, you take a step to the left, you look to the right, you'll see a light turn on. You're either going to walk in or you're not. Sometimes they walk in, sometimes they don't. They just remain here in the low energy realm. But when you walk in, you go to a holding place and they let you know. They talk about what you did and did not do in your life. And if they talk more about what you did not do, then they let you know that you have to go back and do it all over again. So you stay in the holding place. You don't get to go to regular heaven.
So why don't we come back with like our past memories, like from like past lives?
Because if you had all the past memories from all your previous lifetimes, you wouldn't be able to function here in this one.
Mm. So we
Too much.
so
You do get some of it. You get you ever have an instinct? You go like you have
yeah,
an instinct not to do something. That's a
yeah.
previous an experience from a previous
Mm.
lifetime.
Okay, okay.
You
So
ever
it's
have
like
or deja vu?
yeah,
Yeah, we have a lot of these things, but we're not taught that we do. We are taught truth. We're taught lies and deception. We're taught that this stuff, what I do is being a medium is taboo. You're not allowed to do it. In the Bible, it says you're not allowed to do it. In the Bible, it says in Leviticus 19:31. Do you know what
yeah,
Leviticus is?
yeah,
Group of people who sit around and made all the fucking rules. Yeah.
yeah,
So in that Leviticus, you're not allowed to speak to a medium because a medium speaks to the dead. They say I speak to demons and devils. Okay. I'm not speaking to the dead. I'm talking to souls. I don't speak to dead bodies. I'm talking to
yeah,
souls.
yeah.
Now, within that, you have God and the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. Okay. Father and the Son, absolutely, because there's a Father and there's a Son, but you and I are both sons of God as well. Everyone's a
Yeah.
child of God, but no Holy Ghost. How do you know he's holy? How do you know he's holy unless you spoke to him? You'd have to find out, right? And if he's just
True.
standing there, you don't fucking know. How would you know? How would anybody know my name is Daniel unless they walk up to me? Excuse me, sir. What's your name, Daniel? You're not going to know until I tell you. So but in religion it says you're not allowed to speak to the spirit because if you do, you're a medium. So who the fuck is the lucky person within religion that was allowed to speak to the Holy Ghost to find out he's the Holy Ghost? And why is he so lucky he's allowed to do it, but I'm
Yeah.
not? Why am I not?
Like
Why is no one? If you're talking to God and God is actually talking to you or Jesus, that makes you a
yeah,
medium, sort of, right?
yeah.
Well, no,
Because
it doesn't.
you're communing with a soul. Yeah.
But if you're doing it, that means you're not allowed to do it because if you're not allowed to do it, as the Bible says, in other
I
words, it's all bullshit.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean because of the fact that if people knew that, all right, how can I? If people knew that communing with souls was a good thing, the power of the church or whatever
You'd be
organization
gone,
would be gone because
right?
now you have a set of you have the truth, and then you have the man-made lies where
Correct.
would conflict because we do know that
Correct.
religion is a power grab. It is for
Oh
control.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, do you what's his name? Who was it? Moses? Not Moses. What's his name? Noah.
No,
Noah lived to be what, like 690 years old?
something of that nature. Yeah.
Okay. Really? How come? Why
Well,
did, what's his name? Adam lived to be like 580 years old. No, he didn't. I mean, come on. I mean, if it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, physically, there would be so much water in the air at all times, you would
you would,
drown.
yeah,
You wouldn't be able to breathe. Okay. Now, Noah on that boat, when the boat ride was over, his two daughters got married. So does that mean they lived to be 500 something years old too? And who did they get married to? Because in the boat ride, they said during the boat ride, everyone died from the flood. So who were these people that they got married to?
you're absolutely correct.
Right, right.
Just like the story of Adam and Eve. Once they got banished out of the garden, there were people outside of the garden.
Yeah, well, you may know why? Because the garden's just not one place. The garden's the entire world. That's all. We get many fruits from different places all over this world. You know, I mean, it's just. Do you actually believe somebody could live in the belly of a whale?
Yeah,
Because we know if you anything that sits in your belly will dissolve.
yeah, because of the stomach acids and digestion.
Right, but this other guy lived in the belly of a whale. They really believe it. The problem in the Bible is they tell you 50 stories to try to make one point. That's the problem. Also in the Bible, do you know in the Bible it says that God says it's okay to go to war?
Yeah,
Do you believe?
and it also says that you could enslave people as well.
Yeah, you can also slay the young and old. Do you know what that means? That means you're allowed during wartime. You're allowed to kill children. Do you believe God says that?
No,
No, I don't think so either.
I believe war. I believe war and like most acts of violence are just humans
Man-made.
being
Yeah.
primates. Really.
Yes. They want power and control. But we don't go to war to save anybody. We go to war for resources. That's what we
Yeah,
do. And we we've all either been taken over or taken over different countries and stuff just for resources. That's what we do. I mean, so we're all in that sense guilty of that.
yeah, true. You're
But
absolutely
yeah,
correct.
it says in the Bible that God is a merciful God, yet a fearful God. Which one do you believe He is?
I feel that God is a loving God and
Correct.
merciful.
Yes.
I don't feel, to be
That's a
honest.
trick question.
Yeah, it definitely is. Even though I know He's the creator and He made, he or she, whatever, made the universe and created everything in it, good, bad, evil, whatever. I feel that source energy or God's energy would be pure love, like you described earlier.
We don't create. We don't. He didn't create evil. He just created, and then we had free will to choose.
Mhm.
And some of us like to be, over others and tell others what to do all day long because it gives them a feeling like a sense of power out of it. You know, like when you have people who gossip all day long because this
Yeah,
is the only way they can fit in because then otherwise they don't feel like they can fit in. They gossip because it gives them a sense of power. Same thing. And then they feed off of that power and they continue to do it. And that's where they come. That's how they become these horrible, negative, evil things.
okay. So, just switching things up a little bit, right? When you said you see these entities, do you only see? All right. Question: Are humans the only entities in the universe? Really?
No,
No. Okay.
no. I mean, a lot of them are humanoid, but
Yeah,
not all. I
bipedal. Yeah.
mean, what do you think an archangel is? When I say 8 foot praying mantis, what do you think that fucking is? That's not a human.
8 foot looking praying mantis. That's what I'm thinking.
Correct. Correct. Yes. But very smart, very intelligent,
Yeah.
knows everything. So yeah. But
Okay. Okay.
they're just beings of higher consciousness that no longer need a body. But
Okay. So across the universe, there are more bipedal entities that are like us.
oh yeah, there's everything. There's some things out there that I've seen that even when I see in spirit, I could describe them to you.
Oh, shit.
They're just
That's
indescribable. Sure.
that's crazy. So
Yeah. Well,
that's wild.
if you saw an amoeba is life.
Yeah.
If it's life, anything that has life is a soul is a life. That's it. If it's alive,
Find
it's
that.
because it has a soul.
All right.
We see many things that are under the ocean that we see nowadays and go, holy shit, where did that come from?
That
Look
is
at
true.
that crazy thing. Right, same thing.
No.
They're
Okay.
just
Okay.
alien to us. That's all.
Yeah. So
Judging their cover.
Okay. So I have another question, and this is
Yeah.
me just going off. If death could speak for 30 seconds, what would death say? Or is death even like an entity?
Who?
Death, like the passing of us. You know,
You mean like a grim reaper or something like that?
yeah. Like, is death
Yeah,
like an
no such
angel
thing.
or like an
No,
energy?
there's no angel of death. No,
Okay. Okay.
no,
All right.
you just die. That's it. That's all. There's no one inside going, all right, man.
Time's
Once
up.
it's time's up, it's time for you to go. You're going to be here for as long as you're meant to be here. That's it. I mean, but there's nobody there like a reaper going to take you somewhere. You go where you go because you choose to go, or sometimes they just get lost. Like I said, I see in the low energy realm, I see dogs and cats walking around there. You know why?
Okay.
Because people didn't talk to them when you had them as a pet. You didn't talk to your pets on where to go and what to do.
That is true. You just showed
There's
them
many
love.
there's many that cross over, that many that don't. But yeah, I see everything over there. But yeah, there's no death per se, as that is a being that is waiting for everybody.
Okay.
And
So
it's just because it's just death of the body. You as a soul continues on. So there's no one guy, as well as
okay.
there's no
I
devil.
got
There's
you.
no there's no
So
devil. There's no Satan. There's a Lucifer. He's an archangel, but there's no such thing as a fallen angel.
yeah.
But there's no devil. There's no one guy walking around with horns and a tail waiting for everybody. I mean, there might
Nah,
be a guy with horns and a tail, but that's because that's what he looks like where he comes from. That's all.
I'm with that. I'm down to
Because
hang out with him.
when you step up, and like I said, your soul right now is you before you were here.
Yeah.
The previous time. So, but when you step out of your body this time, it'll retain you. You'll be you,
That's
and you'll
cool.
just go on.
So so what happens to the soul after like we fulfill do we ever fulfill purpose?
Sure,
Or like
all of them go home.
or like so
Out of about 100 people who get the, out of about 100 people who leave and go,
yeah.
one of them gets to stay. But
Okay.
on average, one. Everyone else has
And
to keep coming because they're
and
horrible.
when you fulfill this purpose, do you just stay in heaven or do you like have a choice of coming back just to like
Well,
hang
yes,
out?
you have a choice of coming back if you don't have to come back. So
Okay.
if you have fulfilled your purpose, then if you and you don't have to come back, you can come back if you want to. Most of the
Okay.
time, you've been here 28 times. You think you're going to want to come back and do this all over again?
Probably not.
Possibility,
Yeah.
possibility of getting in a car accident or breaking your leg or somebody shooting you or something like that. I mean,
You run a lot of risk being human.
we do run a lot of risk here being human, but we run the risk of that because we're not willing to take the time or make the effort in order to actually fulfill our purpose. That's why we think it's more important to have 6 cars and 7 houses and 10 boats. No, it's not,
True. It isn't.
because money doesn't have any value.
No, because even the wealthiest people are usually the most saddest people and the most depressed.
Yeah, well, you got people hounding down your back to take all your money that you just gained, of course. Yeah, but the money itself isn't. I mean, we use rocks and paper as value in this world. You've heard of it: gold,
Yeah,
diamonds, dollar
yeah, of course.
bills. That's value, or we place value in other things. But the only reason those things have value is because you put it in your hand. A dollar bill could be sitting on the ground, but it has no value until you pick it up. Then it does.
Yeah, because we place a value on it. It's not
Right.
that
So where's the
it's
true
not like
value?
the material of the actual item is
Right.
valuable. It's just
So where's the
us
true value?
placing it on it. Yeah,
The true value in this world is us. And until we get back to that and understanding that, we're screwed. We got
all
to get
right,
away from that.
that is true. So how would you say? How do you just to like start wrapping everything up? How do you like personally protect your energy?
I don't have to protect my energy. I'm protected by archangels. I can
Okay.
go into any haunted house and nothing negative can touch me. Now, regular spirit can touch me. They walk up to me all the time and I feel this little buzzing noise, little feeling, just a little buzzing. And then I close my eyes, or sometimes I don't have to absolutely have my eyes closed. I can just see them more fully, but I can see them with my eyes open as well. I do a very good job of being able to focus because I've had to learn to. I've had to navigate through my life this way. But they'll touch me and I can see them. But yeah, I don't have to protect my energy. I'm protected by archangels in order to cross, because I cross spirit over into the light, and not just one at a time, like thousands at a time. And
Okay.
then, but I have to be able to be protected by all negative energy so I can get everyone else across, as well
Correct.
as provide information to people. Because what happens is spirit will come up to me and he'll touch me and I'll feel this little buzzing thing. I'll close my eyes and I'll see it in front of me. And then sometimes they ask me questions and they ask me questions of where to go and what to do. So I have to be able to get answers. So I ask the archangels, they provide me the answers. I give it to them because I, no matter what spirit is around me or talks to me, I hear everything is English. So
Yeah.
I tell them what to do, and then I tell them where to go and what to do after that. And then after that, a big flash of light go off because they're actually going through me. And then, but because I can do that, I can give answers to anybody. So, but yeah, I'm protected from all negative energies. Everything spiritual, I'm protected.
All
But
right.
that's me. That's not everybody.
And if you could leave the roomies, which is our audience, with one message or a piece of advice, what would it be?
To learn to listen, trust, and follow through with what your spirit guides and your soul are telling you. You have spirit guides. Everyone has spirit guides. No one doesn't not have spirit guides. We all have a man and a woman with us. Basic two. The man helps you with more masculine decisions. The female is more nurturing, but they work in tandem with each other. But they are providing you information. You get answers from angels, but not directly from you to you. Those angels are providing those answers to your spirit guides, of which is going to help you get through your regular day. You don't get regular, like I'm telling you, archangel or God information. You don't need that. You need to be able to figure out your life and how to get through your life the best way possible. So that's information is provided to you, and what comes into you is gut feelings, and we talk about those gut feelings. As long as you learn to listen, trust, and follow through with what those gut feelings are telling you, what those feelings are telling you, or even if you're going to do it in meditation, because you can get a hold of your spirit guides through meditation. And when you get those answers, do it every time. When you get an answer, do it every time. Don't wait 2 months from now, or they want you to do it now. They're providing you know an answer now. You want an answer now, they're going to give it to you. So do it now. And
Uh,
always listen, trust, and follow through with it. And it'll make your life much easier, and you'll learn to live a much simpler lifestyle. You won't need all the gold chains and the 6 cars and 7 houses and 10 boats. You'll figure you don't need all that stuff. That's just society wanting to push that shit on you. So you'll continue to push money into the system so they can become richer and you become nothing.
I feel you. I feel you. All right. Yo, Daniel, let the roomies know where they can find your work at. And even though I'm going to put all the links in the down in the description,
Sure,
but let them know
they
where they can
can.
find you.
Well, I'm like an old whore. I'm everywhere. I am. I have a book. If they want to read my book, I have a book. Daniel Jackson, The New Beginning, My Awakening as a Spirit Medium. It's my story to becoming a medium, seeing, hearing, feeling, smelling, sometimes taste. Again, you don't want that part. Nobody wants it. And communicating with spirit. When you get that part, that's when a negative energy comes through
Yeah.
and wants to show its presence to you, and it feels like somebody threw up in their mouth. That's what it tastes like.
Ooh.
So you don't want that part.
Yeah, you
But
don't want that.
yeah, I also sometimes they will show me what their past life was about and their experience in it, and they'll show. One guy said, "Oh, let me show you how I was murdered," and a wound appeared on his head, and then I actually felt the pain, and it felt like a really bad migraine. This is my ability. Do you really want that? No. So, but yeah, you can find my book. You can find it on Amazon. My book is on Amazon. As of right now, as it started today, we have the paperback is $10. The ebook is $8. And there's a promotion that's running right now through Amazon that if you sign up for Audible, you'll be able to get the audio book version of it. And I think for now, for just a little bit, it's free. So you can go on there and get it for free.
So,
Um,
Rumi, stop slacking. Make sure to get some
yeah, stop
Audible
slacking and if you want
and
to
go
read
check
it.
this out because
Yeah, it's a good book. It's
yo,
everything
Daniel,
that happened to me. It's all the ghost stories and all that stuff. Not all of them, because
yeah,
I didn't want it to sound like a horror movie, but because some of it is really really bad. But there's also messages at the end of the book to help us. I was channeled to me to help us to become the best versions of ourselves while helping others to do the same, which in turn helps you because that's fulfilling your purpose to become the best version. So yeah, you can find that on Amazon. You can find me. I have a show called Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson, and my show is at a place called New Reality TV. That's newrealitytv.com, of which is soon going on Roku, Fire TV, Google TV. But for now, it's on New Reality TV. It's a streaming network, so you can go watch it there. And you can watch my show Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson, as well as I have another show called Veil Tale about everything I see, hear, feel, smell, sometimes taste, and communicate with, and the stories of them. But that all has a positive twist to it because of all the things that go on with me there. But if you go to newrealitytv.com, you click on demand up top. It says, and then after that it says all shows, and you click on that, you'll see a whole bunch of. There's like 47 creators on there. There's a lot of stuff on there. You can really find. It's got meditations. There's movies. There's documentaries, and all these other shows on there. You can find mine very simple. Once you see the list of shows, mine's in black and white, and it says Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson, and you'll see my face. And I talk about everything metaphysical and supernatural. And I give you the truth and not just the pretty kind. I actually tell you what's really going on out in the spiritual world.
No, I believe it, bro. I believe it.
A lot of interviews on there as well.
Yeah. So, roomies, stop playing around. Make sure to go check it out. All the links will be down in the description.
I'm on TikTok too.
And make sure you go follow him on TikTok too. Because
you can find me on
Daniel
TikTok.
right here,
I do a live show every 6 nights a week. I go in there and talk about spirit and spirituality. Now I let people come in and ask questions as well for free. I do readings on there too, paid readings, but that's like 20, 25 minutes long. But if you want to just come in and ask a question, but don't ask me the dumb questions. People ask me, I love these questions, man. They come in and they go, is 2026 going to be a better year for me? Well, if you make good choices, of course it will. But if you make shitty choices, no, it won't. Or they ask, am I going to find my soulmate? Well, a soulmate isn't absolutely someone you're going to fall in love with. A soulmate could be a dog or a cat.
Yeah. A soulmate could be anybody that connects with you on that level. Yeah.
Right. So it's not absolutely going to be someone you're going to fall in love with. It could be a best friend.
Yeah. You
just have to look at it differently. But yeah, you can find me there. You can find me on Instagram at spirit.medium.daniel. You can go on the Facebook, and you can. I almost said it the opposite way, because when you're on TikTok, you can't say Facebook. You have to say book.
Yeah.
It's kind of goofy. But if you go on Facebook, I have a group on there you can join. It's called the Spirit Medium Daniel Group, of which I put a lot of inspirational sayings on there. And you can ask me questions on there too. I'm very accessible. I'm very vocal. I don't hold back. You're never going to see me in one of these like red carpets waiting for a fucking award or something stupid like that. That's never going to happen. I'm always going to be accessible to people because people need someone real. And I'm as real as it gets.
Nice. Yo, Daniel, you're a real G. Talking to the big G.
Right.
No, but Dan, thanks for coming on. You've opened up my eyes, and I could say this, that you've inspired me.
Good.
Because there was a couple of things that you said that I felt were personal. So I'm gonna get off my ass and start doing what my gut tells me to do. And roomies, that's the message of the night. Get off your asses, follow your intuition, and make some good calls.
But also be good. Don't do any stupid shit. But if you do, don't get caught. Because when you get caught, it becomes illegal.
Yep. Well, roomies, peace out.